Hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of Let's Talk Zerg. I'm Sir Roz, as you probably all know, and today I'm going to be talking about Zerg macro. So Let's Talk Zerg is going to be a series of videos to try and help newer players get better with the Zerg race. So I'm going to do a series of videos on a variety of topics, and I thought I would start with the most important topic to getting yourself into Diamond League, which is macro. And for those of you who don't know, macro is how you go about building your structures and building everything in the game. So building drones, building units, building structures, and how you do that in a relatively efficient manner. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm going to cover, a variety of topics. I'm going to talk a little bit about, queens and creep tumors and overlords and when to build units and when to build certain structures, and also like when to build drones, when to build units, all that sort of stuff. So this is just a random game I pulled of myself playing. So I'm spawning down here as the Red Zerg, and we are playing against December, the Blue Protoss. So it's a longer game. I'm gonna kind of spoil that for you guys, but it is a longer game, so I thought I could talk a little bit about macro, the macro I do in it. So the first thing I want to talk about with Zerg is I'm going to touch a little bit on build orders. So, Zerg really don't have too much of a build order. You have a few options at the beginning, and that's about it. Basically, you can choose, do you want to fast expand? Or do you want to go pool before expansion or expansion before pool? And that's about it. Pretty much the standard two builds are like 14 hatch, 14 pool, or 14 gas, 14 pool. Take your pick. If you do the 14 gas, 14 pool, you want to expand at around 20. A little bit safer build, but a little bit worse economically. And if you notice, he is actually trying to cannon me here, and I defended against it pretty well. So I actually just, if you get cannoned by a Protoss, just bring some workers down and kill his pylon. Should be good. He actually tries once again, but I think I defend this as well. So, now that we talked a little bit about basically the early build orders for Zerg, that's not to say you shouldn't have a plan. You should. You should say, alright, I'm going to try, and, well, I mean, I see such and such from the Protoss player, and I'm going to go for, mutas. So you try and get to some mutas like Mutaling, and then, you should have a general idea what you're going to do, but you don't need to have, like, your timing set in stone, is all I'm trying to get at. Not going to talk about builders today. Today is going to be about macro. So, this is actually kind of a pretty cool game. I remember this game now, but that's not what I'm going to be talking about. So this is actually a pretty late extractor, and I need to get my workers over there. Go workers, go. I don't know why I'm just sitting there. I'm pretty much failing a little bit. But now that we do have a queen out, we can start talking about queens. Larva inject. So important. Like, unbelievably important. And it's really important to have a method for doing this that works well for you. So, for example, what do? I put all my hatcheries in a control group. I actually use 1 for my hatcheries. And then for my queens, I actually use 2. And what I do is I will click on the minimap whenever I want to inject, and I'll go over the hatchery, and then I'll click 2, for example, right? Oh, 2, I just clicked 2. Don't mean to do that. But I'll click 2, then click over the hatchery, and then click V and inject. And then I'll go to the next hatchery, click V and inject. And that's how I do it. It works pretty well. There's some other ways you can do it, though. For example, you can click on the minimap, so you can actually click spawn larva, right? That's kind of odd. Oh, it actually, V is kind of a cool key. Oh, what do you know? V actually shows the vision of the player that is being selected. But anyways, tangent there. So you can click on spawn larva, and then you can actually click on the hatchery on the minimap. So if that's something you want to do, that is another way players can do it. I found I was misclicking too much and spending too much time with that. But if you are a better clicker than I am, it might be a very viable option. And the third way, which I would use if I had bigger hands, is the backspace method. So backspace, as you can see even in replays, goes to all like the Nexus or hatchery or whatever on the map. So what you could do is you could actually hit backspace V click, backspace V click. You know, well, not on the Nexus, but if you have big hands, that's probably the best method. And that's another tangent, but that's what I'm looking for. That's why I can't wait for Blizzard to implement customizable hotkeys, because then I'll bind the backspace key to like B. So I'll just be like VB, VB, VB. Bam! Oh, and I just did something crazy. Don't really know what B does. I don't know. I probably missed some of this. So, rewind that a little bit, because I didn't really talk about that. But that's the first thing about queens. And the other thing is, if you're having a lot of trouble, one thing I suggest very strongly is to just watch your queens. So like, spend a game, watch a replay, and just watch your queens. And look at, even here, I could inject, and I'm not. Like, I'm failing. I don't even have anything to do, really, except for put some wings around the map. I mean, very, very little going on, and I'm failing at my injects. So, I'm a decent, you know, I'm a mid-level diamond player. I'm like 1550 right now, maybe. I don't know, somewhere around there. And even I fail pretty hard with my macros, so, I mean, definitely check that out. That's something I need to work on. And a lot of times you won't even be aware of the problem until you actually see it. So, that's enough about queens. Well, just kidding. I'm going to say one more thing about queens. Creep tumors. Creep tumors are the other thing you got to watch out for. And that's another thing you can always work on. Just spend a game watching your creep tumors and just see how long they sit there. Like right now, look, my creep tumor's sitting there doing a whole lot of nothing. So you can, you want to keep spreading this as much as possible, get the most of your creep tumors. So I actually do spread it, but it was sitting there for quite a large amount of time. Another thing that you can do, what helps with creep tumors, is you can assign them to control groups. So you can have it as like 0 or something, and then spread it that way. So a little bit about those two macro mechanics. Next thing I'm going to talk about is drone timing. So, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to talk about something a little. I'm going to talk about overlords first, I think. So overlords. Gonna pause this for a second, talk about it. You always want to be like 20 food ahead of yourself as Zerg, I think, or a couple overlords, around 20 food. I think overlords are 8 apiece, but around 20 food up is a nice rule of thumb, I think, for Zerg. And the reason being is that a lot of times this is how, well, it has to do with drone timing. So a lot of times what you want to do as a Zerg player is wait till the last possible minute to start producing your army, right? And nothing is more frustrating than you see your opponent moving out and you're like, alright, I'm going to build an army and I'm going to crush them with my superior drone numbers. It's going to be great. And it's like, need more overlords. You're like, fuck! I mean, like, seriously, it is the most frustrating feeling in the world. It's unbelievably frustrating. So I just feel like 20 overlords up, or 20 food up, is a very good number. So you always want to strive for that. And if we actually look, I'm getting really close to supply blocks. Do I have any overlords on the way? I do have one on the way, so not too bad. But I could probably use another one. But yeah, I think 20 food, good amount. So that's about it for overlords. The other thing is you can put all your overlords in a group, which is actually pretty good. And then what you can do with it is as soon as you hit layer tech, you select the group, hit G, and they start all spewing creep. And I guess the other thing is, you know, just spread your overlords out. It's kind of a macro mechanic, but I don't know. You basically, unless your opponent goes for like a super, like a Phoenix build or very heavy Viking build, even, well, Viking build not so bad, because if you go mutas you can actually beat that, but they, if we do see a, like a Phoenix build, you want to just pull all the overlords back. That's the other nice thing about having them in one control group. But, you know, you want to spread them out. And I'm doing an okay job of that, trying to get them in positions. Actually, I think this guy sees this pylon relatively soon. So that's it for overlords. Let's watch this replay a little bit more, and I just want to show you something before I talk about the next thing I want to talk about. So, if we look right now, looking at the income tab, I'm quite a bit of workers up on this protest player, and that's just because I've been droning. And if you noticed, I did have a Ling up here to kind of see what's going on, make sure he's not moving out. And I also have this Overseer up here, so soon I think I will put a Changeling down, and I'll be able to see exactly the size of his army. So looking at the army tab, I have like nothing here. I mean, really, who are we kidding? I have 100 gas spent in something, but I don't even know what. Oh, this Overseer. So basically I have like 6 Lings, 2 Queens, and a couple Spine Crawlers, which doesn't seem like much at all, but looking at the Protoss force, he doesn't have much either. He has a little bit more. I mean, he has what? Okay, up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Stalkers and 3 Zealots. Let's pause this for a sec. 7 Stalkers, 3 Zealots. But if I see this moving out, I could build a force to defend against this before it reached my base. So that means I'm doing pretty good with drone timing. And the best way to, you know, learn drone timing, well, there's 2 things. One, pump drones. Like, just seriously, pump drones until you know, just pump, always pump drones. Like, if you lose because you pump too many drones, easy to fix that. It's so easy to fix that. All you do is watch the replay and be like, oh, he 4-gated me. Oh, and the attack came at around 10 minutes, because that's probably when it would come. Maybe a little bit sooner. Maybe like a 9-minute mark, 10-minute mark, somewhere around there. And say, all right, at this point in time, I need to start making units. But until then, you want to only have a couple Lings out for scouting purposes. Like, you know, you can have a Ling at a watchtower, a Ling at their base, and that's about it. So you want to pump as much as possible, and that's, you know, that's how you want to do it. You want to pump drones and then have the army that you need just when you need it, and that will maximize your economy. I mean, it's simple. It's such a simple idea, but it's very hard to implement in practice. So the best way to do it, like I said, is 1, make sure you're scouting. That'll really help with your drone pumps. And the best way to scout would be just, you know, attack or poke in at the front with a Ling is a very good way to judge his army strength. And also have a Overlord. Usually I send, if you guys didn't notice, I'll send an Overlord to the Protoss player's base, and then once I get that layer, I'll immediately turn it into an Overseer. And this has become a pretty standard practice for me, so it seems to work pretty well. But yeah, scouting is key for drone timing, like it really is. And really, I mean, well, that's digressing to something else. Anyway, so that's what I want to say about drone timing. And you know, the best way to really get it down is to play a lot. Obviously, that definitely helps. And 2, watch your replays. So, if in doubt, pump drones, right? And then when you lose because you pumped too many drones, go back, watch your replay, and figure out what you could have done. You know, 1, to kind of see